Turn me up one time. Why, y'all? Because the devil is a lie. Hey. I'm telling you the truth. Hey. It's all in what you do. Hey. Some things you gotta do. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free, hit the subscribe button. So, I asked this question a couple of days ago or last night on my in the barbershop. Tonight, man, we got a beautiful woman in tonight. Don't forget to be there. And we're gonna talk about, is Al Heyman destroying Gary Russell's career? You know what I mean? Who's to blame? You know, all that talent and one fight a year since 2014. So I was thinking, you know, boxing is really just I'm in between games right now. So I said, let me just do a video, man. Let me just have a conversation real quick. I'm about to watch the Lakers and the Clippers real quick. And I was thinking, is Terence Crawford's pride stopping the Spence Crawford fight? And the reason why I say that is I believe fighters can supersede managers and promoters. I really believe it. So hold up, someone's at my front door. Amazon is at the front door. All right, so all right, they get excited because the you know, the Christmas gifts are coming through Amazon and shit because we can't shop, and the kids know that that's their gifts and shit, so they want to shake the boxes and stuff like that. But I got to go answer the door. You know, I mean, especially during the holiday season, man. Don't let no one in your family but you answer the front door, man, because you just never know. Niggas might be hiding in the bushes with a fake Amazon box or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So anyhow, man, as I digress, uh, I was thinking, and there's a piece of me that believes there's a lot of pride in Terence Crawford, and that pride has gotten him a long way. That pride has gotten him to one of the elite fighters at the 147-pound division. That pride has gotten him to a point where uh he is a top 5 fighter in the world, no matter the division. And I think at some point you got to leverage that pride for wisdom. And what I mean by wisdom is gotta get a new mic stand. Is that I think that he needs to take a step back and really, really see who's on his side. If he's confirmed with Bob Arum, and Bob Arum has said that he's not worth anything and he's lost so much money, and why would he trust his word and or wait for him to give him the okay? I think Terence Crawford needs to step in front of Bob Arum. Right? I think he needs to step in front of him and be his own promoter, be his own manager, lead the way. You know, maybe he needs to hire a lawyer, because at the end of the day, they really have nowhere else to go. Errol Spence ain't going up to 54 without fighting for a title. He's not. Why would he? It makes no sense. Manny Pacquiao is doing what Manny Pacquiao does. He's basically pulling a Keith Thurman, but he has the resume to support some clemency amongst boxing fans. I just think that Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and I keep on saying, I keep on coming back to this point. Why don't they FaceTime each other and just strip all their and be honest with one another? And some of you guys are probably thinking, well, how should that conversation go? They say they got each other's phone number in the interview, and I'm sure between Jamel Herring being on Errol Spence Olympic team, I'm sure that they can get in contact with each other like that, right? Here's what I would say. The conversation should go like this. Let's say Errol calls Bud. Hey, Terence, Um, I understand that the fans need this fight, and we both need this fight for our legacy. Now let's just mark off some boxes, Bud. All right, let's mark off some boxes. Let's mark off some boxes so we can just be honest and real with one another. And Bud is probably saying, and Bud is the kind of guy say, "All right, go ahead." That sound like Bud, right? All right, go ahead. Tell me what you got. He says, "Okay, you sold out a couple fights in Nebraska. I sold out a couple fights in Dallas, right? Errol got 3, Bud got 2, if I'm not mistaken. None of that, Earl would say, none of that happened while you was at 147. You haven't gotten a sellout while you've been at 147. So I'm not going to hold that against you. That happened when you was at 140, but I'm going to value you being unified, undisputed, undefeated world champion at 140. That holds merit, right? Now, you've done probably total 100,000 pay-per-views in your 2 pay-per-views with Postal and Amir Khan, right? I've done in 3 pay-per-views, I've probably done 600,000 pay-per-views. So with you doing 100 to 150,000 total, me doing probably, I'm gonna give Earl 700,000 just to be safe, right? I got you beat by about 450,000 pay-per-views, right? Excuse me. 400,000 pay-per-views by. So that's the tiebreaker. Bud, that's the tiebreaker. Okay. Now I know if we do this deal together, we'll get at least 700,000 pay-per-views minimum. Okay. I got you beat in the money department. You got me beat in terms of the belts and all that. And you've come up to my division where I've been my whole career, right? And by court of public opinion, I am not arguably, people have paid more to see me. So here's what we'll do, Bud. I'll call you back tomorrow. All right. Well, I'll call you back tomorrow, and I want you just to rebuttal me, and we'll have a conversation about it moving forward. But here's what I'm suggesting. We'll tell the fans that it's a 55-45 fight. We'll contractually agree that I have to say it's a 55-45 fight. Okay. And we'll iron out everything else. Okay. And what I mean by iron out everything else, here's what I'll do. I'll even take it a step further. Since I get more fans, right? I'm just gonna be respectful to you, but on my merchandise website, I'll put a link to your merchandise on my website. So that way when I'll even put a banner like at the I'll put a banner at the checkout line. So when people check out to buy my merchandise, I'll encourage them to go buy your merchandise to get them excited about the fight. Give them you understand what I'm saying? And and you may get a 10% increase in merchandise. And that's probably where you can see a big upswing. You understand? And in terms of where your merchandise should be. And 2, I know I'm the unified, undisputed world champion of the world, whatever the case may be. If we agree to fight in Dallas, I come out second. If the fight is anywhere else, Bud, you can come out second. I know I have 2 belts. I'll give you some concessions. I don't know what these concessions would be. I'm just making this shit up as I go. All right, so don't hold me to it. I'm just trying to create dialogue because let me stay in character. And so I'll call you back tomorrow, but these are just some ideas where I think that can make this deal fair. I'm not talking to Derek James. I'm not speaking for Derek James. I'm not speaking for Al Heyman. I'm speaking for me. And I know whatever I take back to Al Heyman, I know we can get this fight done. This may not be the most operative time. This may not be the most operative time to do this pay-per-view, but let me tell you something about this, bud. This is the only time to do this pay-per-view. America is going to get worse. Americans are going to get evicted from homes. Americans are going to have to take pay cuts because their job no longer exists. Community entrepreneurs that own stores don't have the money to put food on their shelves and to resell and stock up and resell. So I think that we should do this for boxing, because if we don't do it now, I don't know when we can get on the schedule and make this fight happen. And I'm gonna be honest with you, bud. I'm sucking down to 147, like I said on the zone. I'm sucking down. I'm literally sucking down to 147 to make this weight. And I really want to fight you. And I want to be as fair as possible. But if we go dollar for dollar, I've produced more revenue than you. I believe this fight is minimum a 60-40 fight. We'll agree that we'll say publicly it's a 50-50 fight, 55-45 fight, whatever you agree upon. And we'll go with that to the end of the fight. The same way Canelo did with Triple G. It wasn't a 50-50 split, but they said it publicly. So I think that I just want you to to think about this. All right. And I'm gonna pretend that Bud calls the next day. It's a commercial in between the games. I got like 25 minutes. So all right. So now we're the next day. Bud calls Errol Spence back. And Bud calls and was like, hey, I've been thinking about what you said. You're right in terms of the revenue, because the numbers don't lie. Right. But I want to be respected for being a 140-pound champion and doing what I'm supposed to do to these opponents. I got 8 knockouts in a row, and this and that. And I haven't fought with fans, so I don't know what my current value is, respectfully. I think the last time I fought, I don't know if Madison Square Garden was sold out, but it had a lot of energy in that motherfucker. So I'm just going to say it was just below a sellout, because if it was sold out, I could remember if it was sold out. That was a Tiafimo Kome card. So someone put it in the chat if it was sold out. And honestly, for real, Errol, I think 60-40 is a great split. But how about we do this? How about you give me a $10 million guarantee? Give me a $10 million guarantee with a percentage of the pay-per-view buys. 2 or 3. Location, right? Wherever your merchandise is sold, I want my merchandise sold. And what does that mean? Wherever you see a Starbucks, you'll see a Coffee Bean. Right? And so I want people to see my merchandise with your merchandise, because I know if this fight goes to Dallas Cowboy Stadium, you're gonna have more tables than me. It's just, I know this your hometown. You're doing great with Jerry Jones and stuff like that. So I want, when people walk in, I want, when they see Man Down, I want them to see TBC. And I know Earl's probably gonna say no problem. Errol don't really give 2 shits about that. Oh, he cares about it because he has Jordan doing great. Actually, I think Jordan is doing a phenomenal job. Actually, I should have wore my Man Down sweater for this video. I'll do better. But that's the title of this fight. It should be called Greatness. And maybe I can recoup something there. But give me a $10 million guarantee, and we'll agree to go on this. I'm not sure if we can do a press tour, Earl, but I think that we should do like some cyber media press tours and shit like that, and maybe us on our own. Stop depending on the networks, okay? We should do some public appearances together in your city and in my city. We'll do 2 appearances, one in Dallas, 2 in Dallas, and 2 in Oklahoma because Terence has to convince because the fight's gonna be in Dallas. Okay, let's just put that to bed. All right, it's a straight drive. It's a 3 or 4 hour drive, right? I don't know how far it is, but it seemed like it's close on the map from Dallas to Omaha. Um, and we're gonna do some public appearances, okay? And Earl's gonna be like, cool, you know. And I think that's where the balance sheet where they can shake hands at. You understand what I'm saying? I think that's where they can find uh some teamwork, some netting, some co-joinship, if that is a word, you know. Uh, but I think in terms of the actual money, I think because I just want this, I just want conversations, but I personally I'm just tired of saying 60-40, 70-30 and shit like that. And um I'm just tired of having these conversations, and I'm tired of money getting in the way of what boxing needs and what fans want. Boxing needs this fight. It's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Boxing, and I'm gonna stay on this fight. I think if Terence Crawford fights Sean Porter, I think Terence Crawford wins. Sean Porter res- doesn't know how to win close fights at the top of the food chain. Whoever, and if Errol Spence don't fight Terence Crawford, he's not fighting Keith Thurman at 147. So, and I think Manny Pacquiao is not going to fight. Manny Pacquiao knows he's not going to be able to land anything significant against Errol Spence. That may change the fight. Arms too short, and he's the leverage. He has no leverage. Errol Spence is going to completely dominate that man. He gonna get he gonna run into so much, man. Earl gonna set so many traps against Manny Pacquiao. It's just not even fair. So I'm staying on this. I want the fight. I just want these guys to come together. Fuck the men in suits. Okay, it's about the men that wears the hoodies. And in Terence Crawford's case, it's the man that wears the Versace that's most important. All right. And it's the guy that wears the man down chain, which is most important. Because let me tell both of y'all something. For real, for real. When you get 35, it's gonna be another Errol Spence. It's gonna be another Terence Crawford. And you're gonna be like, damn, we missed out on that money. Missed out on all that money. I wonder how Roy Jones must feel about not fighting Mike Tyson for all that money. I wonder, do Floyd Mayweather in his silent moments think about, damn, I should have fought Manny Pacquiao at least twice. I'm just thinking, but the men in suit says, nah, the fight ain't ready. Floyd would have beat him anytime, any place, anywhere. It would have been more competitive. It would have been more enjoyable. Yeah, but Floyd is just too good. But I said all that to say this. Make the fight. Make the fight. And let Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Keith Thurman fight Jamal James, Jerron Ennis. Let them go. And if they earn the spot, earn the spot. And then if you win, you get the 60-40 on the rematch clause. Someone got to concede. All right, look, let's and I think here's what's not happening. I think Bud Crawford fans are not holding him accountable. I think because I would hold Errol Spence accountable. I mean, not that I don't talk to him. I'm just saying if Earl would ever call me, I'll be like, Earl, make the fucking fight, dog. I'm telling you, I don't care what nobody say. People love you in Dallas, but it's 49 other states. You know what I mean? They just want the fight, dog. We just want the fight. We understand that, yeah, you obviously it's very obvious to the naked eye that Earl brings more money to the table. It's so apparent. And I think Errol may have to do what Deontay Wilder said, humble himself and say, you want the 50 million? Here, take the 50 million, dog. I just want the fight, dog. Okay, I'll take the 12 and a half. I'll take the 15. And then you got to let the world see that they ducked. But there's nothing wrong with the man being pursuing. If you see a beautiful woman, that's the difference between a man getting the most beautiful woman in the world and a man just getting who likes him. The ability to pursue. Don't chase. Chase is chasing. There's gray area in chasing. There's not a guarantee that you're going to catch what you're chasing. But when you're pursuing, there's a guarantee that you're going to absolutely catch up because you're going to pursue with proper angle and intellect. Okay? And that's just simply the truth. So anyways, man, barbershop conversations. Errol and Bud, make the fight, dog. Make the fight. That's the only fight I care about in in that weight class. And there's only 2 fights I really care about: Fury, Wilder 3, and Crawford and Crawford and Spence. So anyhow, man, barbershop conversations, man. You guys have a great evening. Lakers Clippers about to come on any second, and boxing is just boxing got us. Boxing is getting us hard. Anyways, barbershop conversation. I'll holla, peace.